In the summer of 1518, a woman stepped into the streets of Strasbourg and began to dance. Not for joy. Not for music. Not for celebration. She just couldn't stop. By the end of the week, dozens joined her. By the end of the month, hundreds. Some danced until their feet bled. Some danced until they collapsed. And some danced themselves to death. This is not a myth. This is a real, documented historical event. And no one, not then, and not now, can fully explain it. Welcome to Shadow Scroll, where history gets weird. Today, we're diving into the mystery of the dancing plague of 1518. It started with a woman named Frau Troffea. One hot July morning, she left her home in Strasbourg, then part of the Holy Roman Empire, and began dancing in the street. No music, no expression, no reason. She danced all day. She danced through the night. By the third day, she was still moving, her body exhausted, her eyes vacant. Then, others joined her. Dozens of them. All dancing uncontrollably. Within a week, there were over 100 dances on the streets. There was no leader. No rhythm. Just frantic, involuntary motion, like a city caught in a trance. And it was just the beginning. By the end of the month, over 400 people were consumed by the dancing plague. Doctors were baffled. Clergy were terrified. Officials assumed it must be some form of physical illness, a hot blood affliction. So their solution? They built a stage. Yes. A literal wooden platform, with musicians. They thought encouraging the dancers might burn off the illness. But instead, people began dying. Heart attacks, strokes, exhaustion. Death by dance. The authorities panicked. They shut it all down and banned music in the city. The dancers were finally taken to a mountain shrine to pray for forgiveness. Eventually, the dancing stopped. But the questions never did. So what happened? Was it mass hysteria? Was it some kind of poison? Or was something supernatural involved? Let's start with the science. Theory 1. Ergot poisoning. Ergot is a hallucinogenic mold that grows on damp rye. It can cause spasms, convulsions, and delirium. It's the same fungus some historians blame for the Salem witch trials. But ergot poisoning usually causes violent jerking, not coordinated dancing. And it rarely affects that many people at once. Theory 2. Mass psychogenic illness, aka mass hysteria. Some historians believe this was a psychological epidemic, triggered by extreme stress. In 1518, Strasbourg was suffering famine, disease, religious fear. People were malnourished, sleep-deprived, and deeply superstitious. In such a pressure-cooked environment, perhaps the mind broke before the body did. But can hysteria make someone dance for days, without stopping? Can it really kill? Then there are the more unusual theories. Some say it was a ritual gone wrong, a leftover pagan tradition mistaken for madness. Others claim it was a form of religious possession, perhaps tied to Saint Vitus, the patron saint of dance and epilepsy. In fact, many of the afflicted were taken to a shrine dedicated to Saint Vitus after the outbreak. Coincidence? Or clue? And then there's the theory no one wants to touch. That maybe, just maybe, we don't fully understand what the human mind is capable of. That trauma, belief, and fear can twist reality itself. Here's the creepiest part: the 1518 incident was not the first. Nor the last. There are records of similar outbreaks in medieval Germany, Holland, and even Switzerland, spanning the 14th to 17th centuries. Hundreds of people, at different times, gripped by the same uncontrollable urge to move. Why does no one talk about this? Why are these outbreaks buried in dusty footnotes of forgotten chronicles? And why does it sound so much like a virus of the mind? The dancing plague of 1518 remains unsolved. Not a hoax. Not an exaggeration. A real, fatal, psychological, or supernatural mystery that history never explained. Could it happen again? Maybe not as a dance, but what about viral madness in the age of TikTok, pandemics, and mass panic? What strange rhythms still linger just beneath the surface of society? Thanks for watching Shadow Scroll. Like, subscribe, and join us next time as we uncover the truth hidden just beneath history.